Welcome to the Carl Jackson Show, your daily dose of objective truth in a world of confusion and lies. I should say your dose of objective truth and common sense in a world of confusion and lies. There's more people out there that need a degree in common sense. Guys, I got so much that I want to talk to you about. It is not even funny. The border crisis by the numbers. I'm going to give you some of those numbers. Daily Signal has come out with a piece that is very, very important. You have the New York City mayor looking to end the right to shelter law, dissuade potential migrants or illegal aliens, I'm going to say, from coming to the country. What's happening? All of a sudden, Joe Biden wants to get rid of his old policies. He wants to reinstate Trump's policies. And all of a sudden, the Biden administration wants to build a border wall. What's going on? I want to talk about this because don't be deceived, all right? Don't be deceived. This is all a front. Also, what is the latest in the speakership battle, the House speakership battle? We'll talk about that as well. Trump has just endorsed Jim Jordan. And so we'll talk about all that and more on this edition of the Carl Jackson Show podcast. But please, before we get started, please support my sponsor, MyPillow, Mike Lindell and MyPillow. Mike Lindell has a fabulous story. He's a patriot as well. If you go to mypillow.com, click on the radio podcast square, enter my name, CARL. Or if you prefer, give them a call, 800-858-0263. 800-858-0263. Mention my name. Right now, they have deals available for you. Giza Dream Sheets, 50% off. Other products that are literally up and over 60% off simply by using my name. It is getting close to Christmas. The left is trying to destroy my pillow. They're trying to destroy Mike Lindell. Let's help them out and get a good night's rest. In the meantime, all of his products come with a 10-year warranty, a 60-day money-back guarantee. You cannot beat that with a bat. MyPillow.com. All right, promo code Carl. Now, all things social media at the Carl Jackson Show, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, True Social, and Getter. Please join me on one of those places, if not all, at the Carl Jackson Show. Now, all right, so let me just offer up some of the news before I get to the border crisis and what's really happening and what we need to be concerned about. Guys, I want to put the border crisis into perspective, and I've had plenty of guests on. We had Anna Giaratelli last week. We've had Julio Rosas on before. We've had other people from the Heritage Foundation on to discuss the borders. But I'm afraid, I'm just being straight up with you. Listen, we're getting to the point to where the border crisis is irreparable. I don't believe for a second, I'm just being completely real with you. I don't care who's in office that we're going to be able to deport all these people. It's going to be hard enough to find them. Some people that have communicated with that CBP1 app, I do think we'll be able to find those people, and they should be deported right away. I mean, hook, line, and sinker. Deport, deport, deport. A lot of the people that are coming here from other parts of the world actually, more than likely, probably lived better lives where they came from than they're going to live here, because the left wants them to live in squalor. The left doesn't care about illegal migrants. They don't care. They care about chaos and they care about power. And I'm going to tell you, even when it comes to this border wall, where all of a sudden you have Kareem. Oh, that's the video we should have gave Peter Doocy and Karine Jean-Pierre talking about the border wall. Where basically Karine Jean-Pierre, as we call her here, is all of a sudden saying, listen, this is something they have to do to obey the law. And then you have Peter Doocy basically saying, well, what about the student loan crisis? You guys aren't obeying the law there. It's absolutely insane. So what's really going on? I'm gonna get into that, and I'm gonna break down the numbers here because this is all a political game or political gamesmanship. But I do want to go through this real quickly. Some of the news when it comes to the Speaker of the House race, and again, right now we're hoping and praying that Republicans will retain the speakership. I mean, there could be some crazy stuff that goes on where literally you could have theoretically Hakeem Jeffries become the Speaker of the House, and I am praying to God that doesn't happen, because that would be an absolute disaster. And now, listen, I wasn't a big fan of Kevin McCarthy. I have made that known. However, I did not think now was the right time to remove him as Speaker. I think what I think what the Republicans should have done is forced his hand. I think they could have scared him enough to do their bidding. You had people like Chip Roy, Byron Donalds, and others in agreement that had come out with a bill that was actually pretty good before the shutdown, where they were. And it was accepted by some of the liberals, where they were literally going to be able to slash just for 30 days, mind you, but still they were going to be able to do it. That was a step in the right direction, where they were going to be able to slash government across the board, a lot of the spending, I believe discretionary spending, by 30%. I know it was only 30 days, but that was massive. That was a massive, and that was a move in the right direction. However, Matt Gaetz decided, listen, there was some promises that Kevin McCarthy did not fulfill, did not promise. Matt Gaetz, regardless of his motives, he decided to go ahead and offer that amendment, or whatever it's called, to vacate the speakership. It obviously succeeded with 8 other Republicans on board, including Nancy Mace. Obviously, the establishment is going after them now. Nonetheless, we are where we are. All right. So that's in the past now. As frustrating as it may be, whatever side you may be on, that's fine. Now we have to make sure that we secure the speakership, but we have to put someone forward that can unite the entire body. I'm not under no illusion. This is a thing. The speakership, having the speakership, let's not pretend like it's an easy job. I mean, it's easy for us to, sit and throw darts from the outside. But the truth of the matter is that is a very, very difficult job. It's like herding cats. We're not like Democrats that think in alignment. And that can be a negative and a positive. It's positive in this sense that we're freedom lovers, right? We love autonomy. We love individualism. That's what this nation is about. We recognize the power of the individual. But then you have the commies and the Democrat Party, and they will stick together to undermine this country. And that is exactly what they're doing. You had Kevin McCarthy, that was formerly the speaker, naive enough to fall for Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi, he literally spoke with Nancy Pelosi. And Nancy Pelosi, he confided in her that he was concerned about this deal with the Freedom Caucus, basically, to vacate the speakership with just one vote. You know what she encouraged him to do? Hey, give it to him. Give it to him. And then the moment he was vacated, basically, she encouraged the Democrats to stick together to kick him out, because Nancy Pelosi doesn't play. Nancy Pelosi, as much as I cannot stand that corrupt lady, all right, she's the real deal Holyfield. She is a fighter for the left, as evil as she is. She is a fighter for the left. And that's what we need on the right, but you have to be able to unite people. That is not an easy job. Now, Jim Jordan has just been endorsed by President Trump. Quite frankly, I already think, regardless of Trump's endorsement, Trump was, I think, 50-50 at one point. I think Jim Jordan was going to be able to defeat a Steve Scalise. It looks like that's going to happen, but that has not happened yet. We will not know until Tuesday. Now, I was all for everything that happened last year when the 20 holdouts, I think, fought to make the processes where we wanted to return to regular order in the House, where you get a bill, everyone gets to read a bill, everyone gets to debate a bill, the appropriations bill. You have 12. You get to fight for your amendments in the bill. That's what we wanted. We wanted regular order. And those 20, I praise them today. They did a valiant job of fighting for that. We can't do that this time. We don't have time to do it. And honestly, the country is just, we're too far gone. We have a very short period of time. We have to unite quickly. All right. So again, Trump endorses Jim Jordan. And again, I think he was 50-50 on this initially. But listen, you've been hearing people say Jim Jordan. So Trump is a populist. I know he gets the credit for it. But frankly, I think he was going to go that way either way, because Jim Jordan has been that. Jim Jordan is a big Trumpster, but beyond being a Trumpster, Jim Jordan is a good congressman. I mean, plain and simple. And he's able to shape the narrative. He's able to speak well. He's able to make a case. I don't think we've had that in a speaker, at least for not quite some time, where I believe that Jim Jordan is capable of putting the left on defense from the pulpit, if you will, the bully pulpit of the speakership. Now, does that mean that he can lead the rest of the Republicans? If he becomes speaker, and I say if, I'm praying that he does, but if he becomes speaker, that will be the question. Can he unite the moderates, basically the liberals, if you will, in the Republican Party, and the more conservative wing, the Freedom Caucus, and the like in the Republican Party? So that is yet to be seen. Hopefully he can do that. So he's a great narrator, if you will. He can argue our points. Can he lead? That's what we hope to find out, right? Because we hope he gets the speakership. If he doesn't, I got to tell you, I like Matt Gaetz. I love some of Matt Gaetz' fights. Sometimes he gets on my nerve, but I love his fight, and I typically love what he stands for and what he fights for. Sometimes he gets on my nerve. But I will say this: if we were to lose the speakership, Matt Gaetz' political career is over. It's as simple as that. And frankly, I wouldn't be mad. And that's I'm here in Florida. I like him as a congressman. I like his ability to be able to go and argue points and stuff like that. I do think, unlike some people, listen, legislation is extremely important. It's extremely important. But it's also important that you know how to argue for what you want. But legislation and policy, more important, obviously. But you got to be able to speak, and Matt Gaetz can do that. I mean, so I give him credit for that. We'll find out whether or not this was a good idea shortly, but I am optimistic that it will be Jim Jordan. There's been some undercutting of some people, some of McCarthy's allies. It's been reported on Real Clear Politics. Apparently, McCarthy and Steve Scalise did not get along well. I didn't know that, frankly, or didn't remember that, or remember reading about that, but apparently they didn't. So McCarthy, behind the scenes, apparently, though he denies it, has been jockeying for Jim Jordan, to become the speaker as well. And then obviously with the Trump endorsement, it's just, I mean, that is just a, kind of an avalanche of help headed towards, that's a wrong way to put it, but that's a lot of people backing Jim Jordan. All right, so now it's just, can you persuade everyone else? Guys, united we stand, or divided we fall. United we stand, or divided we fall. I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, these the cracks within the GOP right now need to get resolved as of next Tuesday. We cannot have a long, drawn out process again. We have another budget battle in fewer than 40 days. And I don't want to do the continuing resolution again. My guess is that Republicans always do continuing resolutions. Will Jim Jordan, if he does become speaker, will he be able to move the ball forward? We'll see. But first things first, let's pray he does become speaker. All right. So enough of that. You got Trump endorsed Representative Jim Jordan. You have McCarthy allies undercut Scalise. This mutiny kind of reveals a crack within the pro-Trump universe, if you will. Those are the headlines that you're seeing on Real Clear Politics. I read through the story, so the headlines are pretty to the point. All right, now here's one. New York City Mayor, and this goes into what I'll be speaking about today. New York City Mayor Eric Adams is looking to end the quote unquote right to shelter law, dissuade potential migrants from coming to the country. So desperate New York City Mayor Eric Adams has pleaded with a judge to end the city's longstanding right to shelter law as he struggles to house more than 122,000 migrants who have flooded just think of that, more than that amount flood the Texas border, the southern border, every month. I mean, easily double at this point. So they flooded New York since last year. Adams sent a letter Tuesday evening urging a judge to dismiss the city's legal obligation to provide shelter to adults, claiming the 1981 law should be void in a state of emergency. The letter sent to the New York Supreme Court, Justice Erica Edwards warned that the huge influx shows no signs of slowing down, while citing a staggering 159% increase in the number of people in the city's care since April. Wow. In the city's care since April, excuse me, of 2022. All right, so let me stick to this. There's other headlines that I wanted to get to, but there's no need. Let's just go right into, this is probably actually, let me read this. This is from National Review. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas waived 26 federal laws on Wednesday, this allowing for border wall construction in South Texas to resume under the Biden administration for the first time since Trump left office. Quote, there is presently an acute and immediate need, this is Alejandro Mayorkas, I'm quoting, to construct physical barriers and roads in the vicinity of the border of the United States in order to prevent unlawful entries into the U.S., Mayorkas says, in the project areas. Mayorkas wrote in the notice, the new construction project will add an additional 20 miles to the border wall, Starr County and Starr County, Texas, which has been reported as an area experiencing high illegal entry. Okay, so it's a freaking joke, man. This is such a freaking joke. All right, so let me, just so you understand, what Joe Biden is doing. And I'm going to give you some real numbers because this is not going to slow down the left's goal. This is not going to slow down illegal immigration. How long is it going to take to build a 20? This wall could take forever. They may take 2 months to build them out. We don't know. Remember, a lot of the material that they had, some is still sitting along the border that the Trump administration had purchased. Some of the stuff they've gotten rid of. So we don't even know how long it would take to put up 20 miles. They may delay. But even if they put up 20 miles, they still have about 400 miles of open border. Okay. All right. So this isn't serious. So obviously they're trying to appease, as I read earlier, they're trying to appease Mayor Eric Adams. They're trying to appease. There's been video of people in Chicago going nuts. Man, I should have done a better job of getting video ready for you today, Gabe, of Chicago residents that are just straight up PO'd. They voted for it. They didn't realize that's what they were voting for. But when you vote for socialists, when you vote for Marxists, that's what you get. So you got Mayor Brandon Johnson in Chicago letting all these illegals in and all this kind of stuff. And people that are being affected, people in lower income communities that are being affected, and their resources that are kind of being taken from them or they have to share with illegal aliens, they were not expecting that. You should expect that when you vote for leftists, all right? So just for the record, if you're a Democrat, you're voting for leftists, expect your neighborhood, especially if it's run by a Democrat, to be flooded by illegal aliens and resources. You're going to have to share resources, so life is going to get extremely miserable. But I believe this is a two-counter punch. For one, I think what the Biden administration wants to do, because Biden has come out and said, listen, I don't think walls are effective now. Keep in mind that he lives behind gated communities, so that's dumb. So he doesn't mean that, but he wants to appease those people that are on the left. He wants to be able to have that. He wants to be able to say that he is doing something for the border crisis. He is building a wall. The Democrat Party wants to be able to say that. But also, I think they want to take an issue away from Trump and the GOP. You've had DeSantis come out yesterday. He actually gave a really good speech on how he would actually get Mexico to pay for a wall, kind of a shot at Trump too. But also you have Trump that had started and began this fight for a border wall. And I think what the Biden administration wants to do is take an issue off the table, as well as appease some of the base to say, listen, we are doing something about this. And what do you want to bet? I think as we get closer to the election, you will see them take harsher steps, perhaps, to make sure the numbers start calming down. But right now, they want to get as many illegals in as possible. So let me tell you what they're trying to do, and then I'm going to give you some real numbers, and we'll close this thing out. Because this is it is so out of control. I think these numbers give us a little more perspective in the way that Heritage broke it down. So I want to go through these numbers with you quickly in just a sec. So here's the deal. All right. So obviously what the left wants to do is cause chaos to the system. They want to disrupt the system. This is the old Cloward and Pivens theory. You disrupt the system. You cause the system to break down. That is what the left is able to get away with in blue cities, but also they've been transporting illegals to red states. We've seen them here in Florida. That's why Governor DeSantis signed legislation, the E-Verify legislation out here. I kid you not, he signed that. It was harder to find illegal aliens out here. We had started seeing them. I did right around the corner. You know, selling flowers. You know, selling different things. You know, they got to pay off those Mexican cartels. You know what I'm saying? So they were doing that. I have not seen as many, I should say. I haven't seen any near my vicinity lately, but I have seen some here and there, but not in the numbers. I mean, it was just a rash all of a sudden around. It's crazy. All right, so they want to cause chaos. Demography or demographics is destiny. The left believes this, all right? They really believe in this replacement theory. They want to replace you. That's what they're looking to do. They're looking to replace you with a permanent underclass of citizens, right? They want to dilute your vote. They want to dilute your vote. Keep that in mind. That is the goal, all right? To dilute your vote, to dilute beliefs in America, to dilute traditions in America. That's why they don't care if these people assimilate or not. They don't care. You know, people that come here legally, they come here because they love the rule of law here, right? They're coming here because they want a different life. They want a different environment. They want to come to the land of opportunity. These people want to come to the land of opportunity, but they don't want to assimilate. That's a big difference. That's a big difference. They're building this perpetual dependency class. Resources are going to be drained. And some people on the left are starting to see it. I wasn't sure about Mayor Eric Adams at first. At first, I thought he was just kind of playing a game. He just wanted federal money. And obviously, he's going to need federal money, I guess, if it, you know, with the invasion, we need some federal money on the southern border. They're really not trying to help there. You know, because again, 122,000 people, Texas experiences that, you know, every couple of weeks. But when it's a drain on your city, once it's concentrated in a large, you know, in a city, and all of these people are exacerbating your resources, obviously it becomes volatile very, very quickly. So I don't think he's faking anymore. I think he was just kind of doing it for show. He was trying to play the political game. But at this point, when people start seeing residents of New York start saying, hey, what are you doing about this? He's got to be afraid of losing his job, right? When the mayoral race comes up again, you got Curtis Sliwa, who I'm going to donate to. That's going to run against him again. Curtis Sliwa is the man. What was the name? They wore the red hats and kind of walked around, or still walk around the neighborhoods in New York City, from what I believe, and try to, you know, keep the streets as safe as possible. I believe Guardian Angels, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, I'm not sure that they do that anymore, but at least he used to. But so let me give you some real numbers real quick. All right, this from the Heritage Foundation. It's called The Borderline, the Border Crisis by the Number. So just keep in mind that the border, Biden's border fence it's about deception. It's nothing more than appeasing the people like Eric Adams and appeasing his voters, so that they can believe and say that they're doing something. Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago, the same thing. But it's also an attempt, in my opinion, to try to take the issue off of the table from Republicans, from a Trump or DeSantis, were they to be the nominee. Now, I don't think it'll work because too many people are going to continue to flood in. But nonetheless, I believe that's what they're trying to do. So here's some real numbers. 3 million people, more or less, were encountered by the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. That includes the Border Patrol, illegally entering the U.S. in fiscal year 23. Guys, that's a record. 3 million people. We allow, and we are the most generous nation in the world to do so, we allow 1 million people into our country legally every year. And even that's a strain. Look at how long it takes for people to get their green cards and so on, etc. Now, in one fiscal year, 3 million people. That all happened on Mayorkas' watch. So we've set the record for the highest number of yearly illegal alien encounters in U.S. history. If those caught in 2023 formed a new city, according to Heritage, it would be the third biggest in America. Just 1 year of illegal aliens. Here's another number. 304,000 illegal aliens were encountered this August alone. The last month for which we have official government numbers. That is the population of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 75% of August's inadmissible aliens were freely let in by President Joe Biden's Department of Homeland Security. Mayorkas has told the press and Congress many times that the border is not open. But if a door admits 3 of every 4 people who attempt to go through it, can we consider it closed? Obviously not. Here's another number I'm going to throw at you. 425,000 unaccompanied alien children. Guys, what's happening to these children on the trek? I wonder. Children that are defenseless. I wonder. Just throw that out there. So 425,000 unaccompanied alien children, as they are formally called, were let into the country between Biden taking office in January 2021 and today. Now, okay, so 425,000 children. What age group? What age group are the 3 million people that came in this year? I wonder. You've heard a lot of people say, and I've read it a lot as well to confirm, a lot of males, military age males. Guys, we're in a very dangerous, precarious position. All right, so that's more kids in the Chicago School District, that 425,000 number, the 3rd biggest in the country, to pay for their schooling alone. They say, let's take a low estimate of Washington, D.C. School costs $25,000 per year per student in Washington, D.C. Man, and their schools suck. So 425,000 new students at that rate would cost $10.6 billion a year. Even at the lower Texas or California yearly rate per student, we're talking $6 billion according to Heritage. Auditors at openbooks.com estimated that the Office of Refugee Resettlement, the office charged with caring for the alien children, spent $18,000 per children. That's nearly $3 billion in fiscal year 2022. Only 150,000 were let in. That figure is on top of previously mentioned costs for education. Now, all of these kids have to go find a school. All right, so when they go to your kid's school, is the teacher going to be able to give the adequate time necessary for your kid to be able to learn? Is the teacher bilingual? Do we have to pay for that? This is going to get really messy. You're going to get kids that are already struggling in school, schools that are already straining with resources, and it's just going to get worse. It's just going to continue to compound. The left wants to change the Electoral College, guys. They don't care how they do it. They want to change the Electoral College. That I can't believe I forgot to mention that. They want to take the issue off the table. Demographics is destiny. They want to change the Electoral College. They want it impossible to make it impossible for the right to be able to win an election, because they technically, or at least they had that blue wall until Trump busted it down. We didn't do as well in 2022 for whatever reasons. I'm not here to debate that today, but that's the goal. Electoral College, popular vote. The Democrats want to sew it up. They think they can do it with illegal immigration. And they want to do it quick, fast, and in a hurry. All right, 407,983 convicted criminal aliens are currently on Immigration and Customs Enforcement non-detained docket. That means 470,900, basically 408,000 criminals, illegal aliens that are criminals, are running free in America right now. There's 5 million cases out on these people. These are the ones that they know of. This isn't the Getaways, guys. Put simply, these are foreign nationals who were illegally in the U.S. and convicted of crimes here. After serving their sentences, they were released but not deported and remain in our communities. This could be because their home countries refused to take them, so we get to keep them. Although presidents before Biden succeeded in twisting arms, but mainly it's because ICE deportation target numbers are pathetically low. 30,000 is another number. It's the number of the above convicted criminal aliens the Biden administration intends to deport in fiscal year 2023. So out of that 408,000, the Biden administration intends to deport 30,000. Wow. Whoop-de-doo. 116,000 inadmissible aliens were flown or bused to New York City, mostly by private charities using government grants. Yeah, those NGOs. Over the past 18 months, that's over the past 18 months. 60,000 are still living on the city's welfare. That's amazing. Not the Americans that need it. The city is spending around $10 million per day to house them, more than $4.7 billion a year, an estimate that's rising with every month. Mayor Eric Adams again threatened to cut spending on other services by 15% to pay for it. So the American citizens have to suffer. Here's another number, 8,100 illegal aliens arrived in San Diego, California in the past 2 weeks, mostly sent there by the Department of Homeland Security, which should be shut down too, in my opinion. And we're going to have to make that a podcast for another day. San Diego declared a humanitarian crisis so it can, quote, petition the federal government for more federal assistance for local charities to help out with the influx in city after city. According to Heritage, we see the creation of this never-ending vicious circle. They request more and more federal money to deal with the problem Mayorkas and Biden created, and then Mayorkas and Biden come in and pretend like they're saving the day when they're absolutely not. They refuse to fix the problem, and they're not going to fix the problem. Don't be deceived. Don't be fooled by, oh, Biden's going to build a border wall. He's building 20 miles along 400 freaking miles that we never got done. We have not gotten a wall done, and God knows how long Republicans have been talking about it. I'm sorry. I don't care who I piss off right now, but we have not gotten it done. We didn't get it done with Trump. We didn't get it done with Reagan. We have not gotten it done. Oh, a wall isn't needed. A wall. We don't need a wall with the technology. Yes, we need a freaking wall. They work. Ask people with fences. Ask people in gated communities. Ask the president that lives behind a freaking wall in the White House. Oh, man, this stuff drives me nuts. 1,440 American children died from 2012 to 2017 because the emergency rooms that treated them were not prepared to handle pediatric cases. Only 14% of ERs are certified to treat children. I didn't know that. According to the Wall Street Journal, roughly $190,000 per state per year in federal money goes to fix that. Wow, I didn't realize that. Meanwhile, in 2023, DHS gave over 1,500 times that much, 290 million, to non-governmental organizations for temporary shelter and other eligible expenditures for migrants released from DHS custody. Unfreaking believable. Couple more numbers. 433 illegal aliens are currently housed in Chicago's O'Hare Airport. That's got to be nice. 400 young Chicagoans looted a store in the city. And then you have Mayor Brandon Johnson took offense of them being called a mob. That is the quality of candidates that we have in some of these blue cities. 151 illegal aliens on the National Terrorism Watch List have been encountered by Customs and Border Protection in fiscal year 2023 through the end of August. That's up from 98 last year and only 15 in 2021. 21 is the number of suspected assault and sexual battery related incidents along the Washington and Old Dominion Trail outside of Washington, D.C., for which a single illegal alien from Honduras, Juan Rodriguez Alfaro, was arrested last year. Like how I did that roll of the tongue there, Gabe. ICE will ask Fairfax County, Virginia law enforcement to let it know when he is released. Why is he still alive? I'm just asking. Anyway. Those are some of the real numbers. That's what's really happening at the border. Do not fall for this nonsense from Biden's, Biden's going to build a wall. Again, he's appeasing. He's going to appease some blue city mayors. He is going to, or at least attempt to, appease these blue city mayors. He wants to take the issue off of the table for the GOP. I don't think that's going to work. And they want to permanently rule. They want to totally destroy the Electoral College. That's what they're aiming to do. So do not fall for Biden's border wall. It's a straight up lie. I mean, 20 miles, give me a joke. And let's see how long it's going to take to get built. All right, guys, appreciate you tuning in to the Carl Jackson Show podcast. Please remember to support my sponsor, MyPillow.com. And until next time, don't grow weary doing good. God bless you.